My name is Omoyega Oluwatosi. If you are new to my channel, please support me by subscribing and also click on the notification bell so that when I upload a new video, you'll be among the first person to get the notification. So in this video today, I'll be showing you how to make an African cap, African makeup. It's also known as Fila, and we'll be making use of this ashoke. So stay tuned while I take you through the process of how to make a Fila, an African makeup. So we'll make use of this ashoke, this red ashoke for this tutorial. So the first thing you will do, you're going to mark 9 inches. 9 inches is constant to mark 9 inches. 9 inches, so you're marking 9. Obviously this is 9. So we're going to mark 9 inches. Once you mark 9 inches, you get it. So this is my 9 line. So this is my roller. So I'm going to be marking, connecting it like this with a straight line. I hope you see the line. Line is visible. So you're going to just trim the part. So the next thing you're going to do from this point, you're going to be marking 11 inches. 11. We're going to cut it out 3 times so you can see it's 11 inches. Then I'm going to mark 11. Also going to mark 11 inches here. You connect it the way I'm doing it right now. So I'm going to cut 3. So we have the 3 we'll be working with. Can you see? 1, 2, 3. This is the 3 we'll be working with. So I'm going to show you how to stitch. Now we're going to take this the sewing machine and we're going to be stitching them like this together. So by the time you are done stitching this top together like this and like this, okay, like this. By then you're done stitching them together, this is placing it like you can see, like 1/8 or 2/8 of an inch on top of each other like this before you go ahead and stitch. So you can see that I'm placing, I'm not sewing like this, I'm placing it on it. This is what you should have after you stitch it down. You can see we've stitched one, so we're going to do the next one like that. Now that we have joined our ashoke like this, The next thing you're going to do, you're going to bring these two parts forward like so, then you take it to your machine and you're going to stitch it down. You bring these two parts like this, you bring them forward like this and you stitch it down. So I'll do that and bring it down. Go on ahead and join it, and the next thing you're going to do now, you're going to arrange it like this, and the next thing you're going to do is to mark your client's head circumference measurement. So I'm going to mark the head circumference measurements now. So mine is 24 and quarter. We mark 24. Head circumference is 24 and quarter. So half of it is going to give off 12 and 125. 12 and 125. So I'm going to mark in 12 and 125 here. You can mark two lines to give you a straight line. Before you go ahead to mark 1 inch seam allowance. Mark your 1 inch seam allowance. Mark 2 points to get a straight line. So now the next thing you're going to do, just cut it off. Now this is what you should have at the end of the day. This is what you should have at the end of it. This is what your stuff will be looking like. So now you're going to use this to cut out a lining. Make sure that the lining is more than the this one itself, like 1 inch longer than it's when you're cutting your lining. So now you're going to cut paper stay, and you're going to gum the paper stay. You move up half an inch before you gum the paper stay to the cloth. So I'm going to take it to the machine, my iron table, and stitch it down so that you guys can see. You can see you move up half an inch from this point to gum your paper stay or any stay that you want using. So how to make a cap, a makeup. So I've gone ahead to iron and has stay to the wrong side. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be stitching, creating a stitch from one side to the other side, just like a design. So it should be like a design. Make sure your hand is straight when you're doing this. So I'm going to do it another one, create another one like an half inch away. Make sure that when you are doing it, your hand is straight. To be removing, so you can see I've created like 2 rows of design. I don't know if you can see this, like a design on the cap. So I'm going to remove this mistake that I did here. You can make it 3, but I think 2 is enough for me because I don't want too much on the cap. So I hope you can see the 2 straight line on the filler like a design. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fold, like folding the middle of this piece, like fold in such a way that I'm going to be catching the stitches. You see, I'm going to fold in such a way that I'll be catching that particular side of the cap, like I'm still creating the design that I want for this cap. So I'm going to be stitching like an inch, half an inch. So make sure that when you do this, you just keep on doing the stuff, keep on like that. So I have my design for the card ready. When I flip it open, I have something like this. I have something like this. Maybe you just want to go over the cap like this and just stop stitch it again. Make sure you follow the lines. So I'm just going to square this apart and stop stitch. There's different way. This is optional. I'm just trying to make it look top notch and very sexy on my client's head. Very sexy on my client's head. Wow. So this is nice. I think it came out beautiful. Well, I think I'm going to just go ahead and top stitch on those lines again because I want it to be visible. So you just take your time and stitch. So this is one. I'm going to do the same for the other side. So make sure you just keep your cool. Make sure you stitch this well. I think our line is more visible like this, and the design actually came out very well. So I'm going to just trim off excess threading that we have at the side of our cap. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to be adding our lining to the, so I'm going to stitch in such a way that I'm going to place it like this. I'm going to stitch in such a way that I'm going to be stitching close to the edge of this place, like you're stitching like at the side here. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So make sure you are stitching close to that side. I don't want too much, so I'm going to be trimming off the, just leave it like this. So I'm going to open it flat like this, and the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to top stitch. So after stop stitching, this is what you should have, so that when you flip this over like this, so trim off excess threading that you have. So the next thing, I'm going to mark my client's head measurements and I'm going to be stitching from this point down to this side. So I'm marking, make sure everything is there, and make sure that this part like this is relaxed, is joined together at the side. So you can also use pin to pin that part down, so you don't have any cause for alarm. So the next, I'm going to measure my client's head, which is 12 and 1/1 inch. Is it 12? Like, it should be 12. Yeah, it's correct. So I'm going to just stitch 12 and 1. Just go ahead. Just want to go and tie 12 and 1. So I don't want all this to show. Just put them up like this. So you're going to continue like that, 12 and 1. And you're going to continue 12 and 1. So I think this is too much. So I think this is much. I'm going to trim off the excess that we have here. I'm going to trim it off like this. Oh, just go in. You can see I've trimmed off the excess that we have here. So this is what you have. So I'm also going in again to just stitch on that line again to secure our cap. So you don't want your cap to be just stitch to fly open at the end of the day. So that's that. Now I'm going to take this to the iron table. I'm going to take this to the iron table and I'm going to give it a nice press. So when you flip it inside, this is what we should have. See, our cap is almost ready. So I'm going to take it to the iron table and I'm going to give it a nice press. So before I do that, once you push it inside like this, you want to go to the iron table and iron this part together. So after stitching and you've ironed your your cap should look like this at the end of the day. So the next thing you're going to do is you're just going over like so. Make sure you are catching the lining and the fabric together. So you're just going to put it inside like this. Make sure you're catching the lining and the fabric together. So you just go ahead and top stitch it. So make sure that you are catching the lining and the fabric together. Make sure that you are catching the lining and the fabric together. Make sure you are catching the lining and the fabric together. Make sure you are catching the lining like this, and the fabric together, catching the lining and the fabric together. Make sure you're catching the lining and the fabric together like this. So after we've done that, you just want to go ahead and trim the excess that you have here. Excess. So this is what your cap should look like at this point. So now I'm going to add the overlay on top of this cap. So let's go there. For the upper part of the filler, you flip your filler over to the wrong side and you cut the remaining pieces of your cap into a circular motion. So all you have to do is just to place your filler on it like this, and you start stitching. And please, you stitch in such a way that you are catching the filler in the circular motion. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to be stitching the filler in such a way that we're catching the filler in a circular motion. So this is what you do as well. So you just go ahead and just stitch and you stitch. Make sure it's relaxed, no puffing. Just pick it up and continue stitching like that. And make sure your circular stuff is balanced. So you just pin down and stitch. Just pin down, pull and stitch. Just pin down and stitch in such a way that it's catching the cap. Go ahead and just stitch it down like this until you are done. So the next thing you do, you just, so the filler is ready, you just trim off the excess, which I'm going to do right now. Trim off the excess. Trim off the excess, make sure you trim them off. So you flip this over to the right side. Our apeti aja is ready. So I'm going to give this a nice press, sour cap. So I'm going to give this a nice press and you see the outcome of the cap. Not doing justice to the filler. Like seriously, it's not doing justice to it. Okay, let me place it on the table and see if there's a difference. There is not. So this is the cap. I'm done making it, so this is what it looks like at the moment. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any question, you can drop it on the, you can leave a